Welcome. In this video, I'm going to share with you a solitaire game I designed that's portable, fast, fun, and strategic. All you need to play it are six-sided dice, all of about the same size, and a wide, flat, smooth playing surface. In my case, I'm using a table. Now, let's get into the rules. To set up, pick one of your dice. This is George. George begins each game at a level 3. His current level is shown by the number on top of his die. You win if you can level George up to a level 7. On the other hand, if George levels down to a 0, George dies and you lose. Place George in the center of your playing area and then pick up the remaining 5 dice into your hand. This is known as palming them for the sake of rules explanation. You can palm and play with 2 different hands, or you can palm and play with the same hand, like I'll be doing in this video. To finish setting up, roll all 5 dice onto the table and let them spread out naturally. If any of the dice contact George as they roll, simply pick them back up and roll them elsewhere until all dice have been rolled. Now you're ready to begin the game. In this game, you have unlimited time and unlimited turns. You keep playing until George hits either level 7 and you win, or he hits level 0 and you lose. On your turn, you choose between one of 3 actions: pass, roll, or flick. If you pass, George levels down by 1, and then you can palm any die on the table. If you roll, take all palmed dice already in your hand and roll them simultaneously onto the table wherever you like. If any of these dice that you roll collide with a die already on the table, including George, then you level George down and re-roll that die. And this can happen multiple times until all dice are rolled. Lastly, you can flick, which is the bread and butter of this game. When you flick, one of many things can happen. One thing that could happen is that George flies off the table, he dies instantly, and you lose. So don't do that. Another thing is that if you flick and George doesn't touch any other dice, then he misses and you level him down by 1. On the other hand, if George hits one of the dice, then one of 5 things can occur. Firstly, if you flick George into a die and the 2 dice sum to 7, then palm that die. This is called neutralizing. If, on the other hand, you flick George into a die and the 2 dice have the same value, then you absorb that die by palming it and then leveling George up by 1. Additionally, you can perform a remote neutralize or a remote absorb. These are much more difficult to perform, but if you do it, they contain an extra level up compared to their regular counterparts. So for example, if I flick George into a die that then collides with another die, and these 2 dice sum to 7, then I can palm both dice and level up by 1. That's a remote neutralize. If, on the other hand, I flick George into a die and he collides with another die that has the same value, then this is a remote absorb. I palm both dice and level up 2 times. In this case, George would win the game. The last option that happens if you flick George into another die that doesn't contain a neutralize, absorb, remote neutralize, or remote absorb is that it's an error. And in this case, you simply level George down twice, leaving the hit die or any affected dice wherever they are. There's one other thing you need to know while flicking. If you flick George and he spins to a different level, well, not in that case, but if he spins to a different level, like so, then you automatically return him back to where he was and level him down by 1. Leave any other dice where they are with their current numbers. So, of course, we select George, set him to level 3, then we roll the other 5 dice to set up the game. Now, I'm noticing here already, there's a great remote absorb chance, and it's not that risky. So I think I'm gonna go for this. And we got it, so palm both dice and level up twice, perfect. Now we can't perform any other actions with these dice available, so I think I'm just gonna roll the dice I have onto the table. There's an opportunity here for Neutralize, but it's a bit far away. I'll see if I can try it. And anyway, if we miss, then we'll level down once, and then we'll be in a better position for this 4. So let's try it. Perfect. Neutralize that, and then let's re-roll it. It's not ideal. I'm going to probably pass. So I level down and then palm a die. Let's palm one of the outside ones over here and go for that absorb. Get it pretty easily. We're still at a 5 with not a lot of options. Let's roll. Okay, interesting. I think I'm going to pass, pick up one of the ones, and then see if I can get over and absorb. Well, no, I think I'm going to absorb this 4. It's a bit closer. So I'm going to go up to 5 here. Again, no options. Let's roll. Okay, still no options. I'm going to, if you're an excellent player, you could maybe remote neutralize this by hitting the 1 into the 6. Or actually, this one into this 6. I just noticed that. Let's see if we can do that actually. I'm going for a remote neutralize. Perfect. So, since the 1 hit the 6, then we palm both and level up 1. And we're at level 6 now, so big chance we can win the game right here if we manage to hit the 6. So, oh my goodness. That is the space between them. That is ridiculous. It didn't touch though, I can promise that. So, we level down, unfortunately. We were so close. But we do have a great opportunity for a remote neutralize here, so let's do this. Perfect. Grab these 2 dice and level up once. And of course, we can't do anything with this 4, so I'm going to roll. But of course, be careful not to hit any of the other dice, or I'm going to level down. Perfect. Let's see. We can maybe do a remote neutralize here, but I'm not sure if I trust myself to do that. On the other hand, if we pass, I'll be down to a 5, and I still won't be able to do anything. So I would end up passing again, so I think it's better just to go for this and risk failing miserably. Oh, perfect. So it was a remote neutralize, and look at that. We were at level 6, we went to level 7, and we won the game. So that's just one example of a round. Obviously not all rounds result in wins. I would say the average win-loss ratio depends a lot on your flicking skill, but the win percentage is somewhere in the 40%. So I actually had a pretty reasonable game there. But anyway, that's an example of the gameplay. If you have the dice at home, feel free to try it and let me know what you think in the comments. To find more additional rules to add, or simply the written rules available at your convenience, then you can check out the rules in the description.